Hello everybody and welcome back to Connerty Meadows Farm. My name is Ricky and today in the kitchen, because there's a massive storm outside, we are going to be making butterscotch marshmallow cake. It's fairly simple to make with 4 ingredients. First thing we're going to need is half a cup of margarine, 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 package of butterscotch chippets. I buy them in bulk, so that's about 300 grams. And then 1 small package of marshmallows. Now generally you'll see people use colored marshmallows, and that's what I normally would use. Unfortunately, all of our stores were sold out of the colored ones, so I just have white ones. It's all right, they'll still taste great. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna measure out all of our ingredients into a metal bowl. And the reason why we're putting it in a metal bowl is because we will be creating a double boiler with this on the stove. So you need a metal bowl. Just a simple kitchen scale, just because I need to measure out my butterscotch chippets.
Add your butterscotch chippets to the bowl.
Now I can just take that scale away. So for our half a cup of margarine, I am going to use this to measure. I love using this guy. It's a Pampered Chef measure.
The only negative thing is sometimes you'll get air pockets in there, so I just always add a little extra on the top to account for them.
All right, let's get our peanut butter. 1 cup. I had to buy a new one because I knew I wouldn't have enough of my butters.
And the same thing with the peanut butter. You'll get air pockets in there. So long as you know that they're going to be in there, you just add a little extra. It's not a big deal.
We're going to get a 9 by 13 pan and butter it. You can do this recipe in a 9 by 9 pan. They'll just be thicker. I just find that they're pretty filling, and the thicker ones are just a bit too much. So it's nice to be able to have it in a bit of a smaller, thinner form, and it goes a little bit further that way as well. That all buttered up. Next step is here at the stove. We're just going to put water in a pot, and this is how we create a double boiler. You can turn that on. You don't want it super high, usually about medium heat. And then we're going to put, with this on medium heat, we're going to stir this. Now be careful, the edge of your bowl is going to get warm. Oftentimes I'll just grab myself a little towel or a glove or whatever to hang on to it. And we're just gonna melt this on this low heat until it's all combined.
And just like many of the other treats we've made this week, you're going to stand here and stir. Don't walk away, don't turn up the heat, just stir it. It'll eventually melt. The butterscotch chips take the longest to melt, and you'll start to know when they do because it changes the color and of course the consistency.
You can see everything's all melted now. So let's remove this from the heat and get it poured. Now remember, this is going to be hot, so handle it with gloves. On our buttered 9 by 13, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our marshmallows. Now some people like to fold the marshmallows into this. I just find that it's pretty hot and the marshmallows start to melt, so I just want to give them a couple minutes for this to cool down a bit. Don't worry, we will be mixing them in here. When the bowl is cool enough for me to touch, then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add it.
We do want to still work fairly quickly here because we don't want it to cool down too much. It makes it harder to mix when it's cool.
Just stir it enough that all the marshmallows are coated, and then spread it around.
Just flatten out the top as best you can so that it is all level.
We're going to put the lid on this. And we're going to put it in the fridge for an hour or so, up to overnight.
I left it in the fridge for about 3 hours. It made for very easy cutting. And then I used my offset knife to scoop everything out. It is still a little bit sticky and a little bit soft, so I could have left it a little bit longer, but I just wanted to get it finished. You can store these in the fridge for short-term storage, or you can put them in the freezer for long-term storage. They freeze and thaw very nicely. Just make sure that when you are not eating them, they don't get left out for long periods of time because they do melt fairly quickly. So keep them in the fridge. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out with us on the farm in the kitchen. We'll see you next time.